All right, guys, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everybody is well. It is Thursday, May 14th at 9:32 a.m. Apologize for being late. I know some of you guys might pull me on that. I pride myself on being prompt and on time. Readiness is next to godliness, I was once told. We're here. We're rocking and rolling. Maxie Hughes, Lewis Sylvester fight is off. I do have a triple with that fight on it. So the way my book works is it simply voids it. So my Euro triple has turned into a double. It's still plus money. I'm still playing it. The Maxie Hughes fight is off. Let's see why. Let's see why real quick. I was told he pulled out. Okay, I'm not seeing. I know it's off of the books right now, but I'm not seeing any sort of like credible source talking about it. Maybe he talked about it on his Instagram. Maxie Hughes fight off with Sylvester. Yeah, the books have pulled it. I don't know if anyone's doing any write-ups on it. It's still saying I guess the news will break soon. Oh well. People were saying upset. Oh, my boy Barry Unboxing. Shout out to Barry Unboxing. Tap it into my search engine. He's a JSB insider. Guys, join our Discord. It's a couple bucks a month. The link is pinned. If you guys are on Twitter, I don't use Twitter, but if you guys are on Twitter, follow Barry Unboxing on Twitter. He's in our Discord. He's one of our JSB insider sharps. He was, and this is why the fight was on my radar because of Barium and his write ups and analysis. So he liked Sylvester as an upset. It always sucks, guys, when whenever we're doing analysis work and then the fight gets called off. So I've been told the fight's off. It's off of my books. I just wanted to start there. I'm gonna say what's up to the boys. Mike Ross, thanks, man. It's winter here, so I'm growing a beard. I can't, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Doherty money line. That's what I'm gonna say. What's up to the boys? We're gonna take everybody's opinions. Shout out to Julius, JSB Insider. Fighting a team, the way they had their face-offs. I shared it on my Instagram. My hesitation. I think Doherty's 5'6", and I think a team is 5'11". I think there's like a 5-inch height difference. I haven't made anything official. I've been seeing sharp money coming in on a team at plus 350. If I make that jump, I'll let you know. Guys, check your Patreon. Check the members only section on YouTube. You guys have 7 tickets that are live. I just posted right before this live stream my knockout prop of the week, which is causing a bit of turmoil in the Discord. But hey, what is our goal? Our goal is to find value. Our goal isn't to put together a 4-leg parlay at minus 500. Our goal is to make tickets at plus money and to win. So check your tickets. Every ticket I give you is plus money. Also, if you have any questions about any tickets, ask me. I'll tell you the reasons why I picked the result. Might not be right, but at least I have reasons, right? Devram Goodgren, Goodman, plus 100 is a dog. What do you think about it? I just got the fight on my books. You got to give me time to look into it. It literally just appeared today on my books. He looks good. John McGann, we up. Guys, 5 minutes in, we're at 40 people. Let's like the video. Cody in the house. Johnny, what's up? I'm not sure why there's not an official post either. Yeah. But the books took it off, Cody. So I think that's probably the order of things we could say. It wasn't a main event. It wasn't a massive fight for the mainstream, but for the boys, us, we knew about it. I assume it'll be somebody will write. Somebody should write about it. You think Kelvin Davis gets it on? What's up, King? You've been asked about Kelvin every live stream. Look, I'm playing the top rank A sides. I'm not putting a lot of money down. I have a 5-leg half unit top rank A side parlay. You're gonna have to go into North if your last name isn't Davis and you're fighting at the Scope Arena in Norfolk on the top rank card. You're gonna have to go in there and knock out a Davis to get a decision. That's just the way it is. These are just patterns. That this top rank A side pattern is the same as our Olympian with under 10 pro fights pattern fighting a 30 fight pro. That's the same. This is what that is. So keep that in mind. And I have the Tiger card A side sort of thing. Same sort of thing. A Gabby Fundora knockout prop. Same sort of thing. These are patterns. So that's all. So if you like his opponent to go in and knock him out, play that. But if you're wondering anything other than that, I don't think Kelvin Davis is ever going to be a world champion. Or you asked me about his potential. The fight is at 147. Kelvin is a traditional junior lightweight or a super lightweight. He usually fights at 140. This fight's at 147. He should be able to fill out a little bit more. Kelvin Davis gets it done. I like it. Yep. That's the thing. I don't think he stops his opponent. I think a decision is in play. I think the distance is in play. I think the over is in play. These are all smart props. So to answer King, currently on my book, you got Devram. The Devram versus Franklin fight is even money. Either way you pick it. I haven't done tape. That fight goes down in roughly 36 hours. So give me some time. I'll look into it for you, big dog, and I'll let you know. And you'll ask me tomorrow, and then we'll get after it together. The odds are interesting. I briefly saw both of these guys doing a stare down today on Instagram. They both looked the part. Look at the Karen odds. The Karen odds are starting to get a little wider. Money's coming in on Karen. I got Karen at $1.78 on the money line. He's now at $1.66. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Is this the JSB effect? Is this the JSB effect? Because I got Kusei at $3.75. I got him at plus 275. He's down to plus 155. Maybe that's the JSB effect. Maybe that's everybody else seeing what I see. I thought the first fight was extremely close in the Philippines. They gave it to Jerusalem. And then this rematch is in South Africa. So I got Kusei as my dog of the week, but I nailed him at plus 275. He's down to plus 155. If you like Melvin, wait, because I think these odds are going to continuously starting to even out. So if you like Melvin on the money line, wait. If you like Kusei, get in now. There is not a better sport in the world than boxing. I'm excited for the weekend, boys. I'm excited for the weekend. We got big fights all around. We got boxing, we got MMA, we got circus shows, we got Netflix shows, we got chaos, we got domestic shows, we got Keyshawn fighting Wu. We got some good mid-level heavyweight boxing fights with Hergovich and the Rhino. Boys, let's go. Let's get our bowls out and our silverware out. Let's start eating. Or if you got chopsticks, I'm a chopstick guy too. At this stage of the game at 44, I'm a classy guy now. You know, we all have to grow and change, don't we? All right, so these are the odds. I still have to do tape, guys. We like being sharp. We have some sharps. People like a team at plus 340. And if you're judging just the stare downs, Hatim will make you believe in him. He'll make you believe in him. He got that energy. He got that energy, boys. I have nothing official yet on my end on Hatim on the Hatim fight. Like you guys can people could talk. I was going at it with on Instagram with this dude that has like a bigger look, guys, if you think just because you have a bigger following than somebody, or if you're one of these people out there who think that there's currency in social media status, you have missed the whole premise of life. Never judge people on how big of a following they have or how small of a following they have. Don't judge people on what they have and what they don't have. Don't be a dick and because somebody's wealthy you think, or somebody doesn't have as much as you think that they're less than you. You missed the whole game on humanity. The idea, the game here is life is play. The whole trick to life is try to be better today than you were yesterday. Try to help yourself so you can help people. That is how I live my life. That is my golden rule. I was going back and forth on Instagram yesterday with this guy that has like 200,000 followers on Instagram. He's a boxing content creator. And he thinks because he has a bigger following than me that I shouldn't have an opinion or that he's better than me. I'm like, he makes these sort of like videos talking trash about boxers and making fun of their resumes and making fun of fighters who get knocked out. And I call him up all the time. I was like, bro, you're a clown. I was like, you're a clown. You're building a following off of clowning fighters because they got hurt in a fight. I was basically like, fuck off. But I didn't swear. I did it in my. I did a clown emoji, and he got really butthurt. He's for a. I have so many more followers than you, but I'm like, bro, I don't care, man. I'm like, I'm just cold. You are having a meltdown because I called you out on it, and don't treat people that way, dude. So this is an interesting fight. This is an interesting fight. I have taped this. I haven't uploaded my breakdown. I have done film study. I know all about Lee McGregor. I know all about Gomez Jr. This is the one I'm playing Gomez Jr. by knockout here, guys. I'll tell you. So this is my knockout prop of the week. Free game for all the non-JSB insiders. I have action on this bet. Oh God. Okay, Cowboy. If you take Hergovich on points, Keyshawn on points, and Gomez Jr. by knockout, boy, plus 2,100. That's not my play, though. That's not my play. This is my play. I have a full unit on this. I'm going full unit Gomez Jr. by knockout at plus 190. Other than the tape, the one thing you have to, when you're looking at the physicality, Lee McGregor's a 5'7" kid. He's fought at 30. He got knocked out at 126 against Nathaniel Collins, who isn't a big puncher. Gomez Jr., not the biggest puncher, but he's knocked out two of his last three opponents. This fight's at 135. So you have a guy in Lee McGregor who's trying to figure things out. Like he's an in-betweener. What am I? Am I 130? Am I 126? Okay, let me try 135. You have a guy in Gomez Jr. at 31 years old, I think now. He's on his run. He's at that stage of his career where he's all in. He's gotten some good victories as of late, and he's trending in a certain way. So this is a value play for me. This is a value prop for me. I have a full unit, and I'm banking on the trends. I'm banking on the size difference, and I'm banking on Gomez Jr.'s power at 35 versus a guy who's been boiling himself down to get to 26. Now he's kind of like experimenting. And at boxing, when you it all depends on where you catch a guy, when you catch a guy. That's my value play, my value knockout prop of the week. This is in the Discord. I gave it on Patreon. I have action on Michael Gomez Jr. by knockout by himself at plus 190. I also like Gomez Jr. on the money line if you want to put him in a parlay. Currently, he's not in any other of my parlays, but that could change. And I know as soon as I shared that, that got a lot of tension, which is a good thing. This is not an echo chamber. You guys are probably tired of me saying this sort of thing. I'm always interested and I always know we're on the right track whenever I share a ticket and and we don't all agree. That's a good thing. I'm always hesitant. Like our biggest losses, not financially, but the most memorable losses are those losses where we all lose because we all agreed. which happens in this game. If you signed up for this, I signed up for this is the game we play. So whatever, like just in recent memory, I hate sort of like beating a dead horse, but YouTube wants me to say the word unalive. You guys will never, unless I'm making fun of it right now, ever, ever, ever hear me say the word unalive in the context where you should have said that fool got murked or he got killed. Anyway, David Morrell beating a dead horse, something like that. We share, it's on everyone's ticket, and then when he loses, when I share tickets like the Gomez Jr. knockout prop, and it's like, what the hell, dude? I don't agree with you. Or Keyshawn Davis on points. Dude, I think Keyshawn's going to stop him. Or Karen Chukachan on the money line. Dude, what the hell? I think Patty. I love the discourse. It's the discourse that makes our group stronger. It allows us, after the fight, whether we win or lose, to reconvene, restructure, recalibrate, and see where we went wrong. It's how you elevate in life with anything. You need discourse. Fighting a rugged Mexican, yeah, Kelvin. Legendary SS Jackson, what's up, baby? How you doing? I'm gonna get caught up with all these comments now. You guys gave me 12 minutes. I'm gonna get caught up with all these comments to see where the boys are. We're 17 minutes in. We got 40 to 50 people, just like the video, and we're rocking and rolling. Cody likes the knockout prop. Appreciate you. Hey, Johnny, good morning. Do you like any B-side opponents at all in the top rank card? I think that Pete Dobson is live. I like Pete Dobson. He's a gritty New Yorker. He doesn't do anything extremely well. He's a workman-like sort of guy. I thought Pete Dobson beat Sriracha in Kyrgyzstan a couple months ago, even though we picked Sriracha to win. I thought Dobson got robbed. Dobson's one of these B-side guys that even if he's up on the cards, he's losing a decision, right? I'm not going to compare Pete Dobson so much to Emmanuel Augustus in terms of marketing, but those in the know understand the comparison. I'm not talking about fight styles. The drunken master, Emmanuel Augustus, his fight style is a whole different conversation. But when you look at Emmanuel Augustus's record, he has at least 20 losses on his record that probably could have been wins, and they became losses because he put his hand up without a promoter, without anybody backing him, traveling to the A-side's backyard and fought the A-side and beat the A-side on points, but he's not getting a points decision. He got brought in to lose. People underestimated how good he was. He wins the fight. And this happens in boxing. You get traveling B-side guys who don't tell them they're going to lose, but because they don't have a big marketing backing, because they don't have a big promoter, this stuff matters in boxing. This is the politics play. So if you were playing an upset on the numbers, I would say Pete Dobson's live on the top rank card on the major fights. Other than that, I don't see any top rank A side losing. You're gonna have to knock out a Davis brother in Norfolk at the Scope Arena to win a decision, to even win. My bad. I meant Keon is also fighting Reggae Mexican. No props on him yet. Harley, we still good. Keon. I'm not so boys. The only prop I'm getting on any of the Davis brothers is Keyshawn. Do you think Keon is better than Kelvin? I don't rate. I think so, right? Kelvin is. I mean, the question is, are any of them as good as Keyshawn? No, right? You know, why are we don't want to split hairs, Manny. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got your older brother who's a dog in the best possible way. I put Keyshawn in my pound for pound list. I know you guys, a lot of guys don't want to hear that. I really rate Keyshawn Davis. I loved, he was moving to 140 anyway. Obviously, it wasn't the most ceremonious move to 140 when you get stripped at 35 and you have a hometown card built around you and you don't fight because you miss weight, like all that good stuff. I think Keyshawn would have walked De Los Santos. You guys don't want to hear that either. I think Keyshawn's that dude. I think Keyshawn is that dude. I think his hand speed's great. I think something that gets overlooked with Keyshawn is his dog, how big of a dog he is in there. He's still learning. He's still a young dude as well. So when you have three brothers, and the one brother is so, it's like comparing Abdullah Mason with his little brothers. Do we talk about his little brothers? We're going to start because Dulla's putting them on more cards, and they're on the undercards in Cleveland when Dulla faces Cordina. Shout out to the land. 330-216 Northeast Ohio. We up. I'm currently doing it right now, GK. I'd love your feedback on this. Anybody who has feedback for me on a team versus Louis, is a team live? You guys have been telling me a team is live. I haven't done full thorough tape on it. I when I do my breakdowns, I told you guys my system before. One of my rules that I always do in my system, one of the spokes in my wheel, is I go to their Instagrams and I look what they look like. I look what the content they're posting. I look at the face-offs. I look at the media day. And if it's fight week like right now, we have the good fortune to see Louis and a team in each other's face. Body language wise, nonverbal communication, what I'm seeing, energy wise, a team looks like he's live. But we've seen this time and time again in boxing. You can talk a good game, but could you fight? So I still have to do the film study phase. No distance on Karen versus Pat. Bro, it sounds crazy. I don't rate. I think I've seen Patty fall apart against lesser competition. Patty's style, he relies so much on athleticism, speed, and power, and he fights so emotionally. He's going up against a real European vet who keeps everything together, who doesn't fight emotionally, who has a game plan, who has multiple paths to victories. Karen's at his best when he's pressuring you. He wants to be on that front foot, but he's a good counterboxer. I wrote this to I sent this to Tommy Ranone last night before I went to bed, because we're all married to the game, boy. I'm out here sending messages to the Discord when I'm in bed, hitting Tommy up. Hey, do you see what I see? So I had already given my prediction on Chukajan versus Patty, and I'm obviously all in on Chukajan beating him. The next phase of that is like, all right, do I want to play a prop? There's a Chukajan knocking out Patty is a plus 550. It sounds insane, but I see a path to that happening. And I messaged Tommy and I was like, did you notice? Tell me what you saw with the adjustment that Lewis Crocker made from fight one to fight two. And the adjustment that he made was very evident. From fight one to fight two, Lewis Crocker went from a guy wanting to fight Patty's fight, meeting him in the middle, fighting him at this certain range, and being aggressive. He still got the victory. I mean, he won the fight. It's not Crocker's fault he was down on the cards and Patty Donovan is too emotional and he punches 3 seconds after the bell. The adjustment was in the second fight, Crocker chose to fight him on the ropes. And he was unreliant to give up that space. He forced Patty then to cut the distance and walk on to his space with his back against the ropes, and he dropped him 2 times. And I don't rate Lewis Crocker at all. I think for Lewis Crocker, I used to say this. I used to say one of the most amazing stats in terms of somebody overachieving in their career is Rolly Romero being a multiple weight world champion. You guys know how I feel about Rolly. He's one of my favorite fighters. I love Rolly Romero. I love everything about him. I like an overachiever. I like an underdog. I like a guy that people sleep on. I like a guy that people underappreciate. I like a guy that people sort of undervalue. That's Rolly, right? So I used to say the wildest stat in modern boxing is Rolly Romero as a multi-weight world champion. Nobody will ever change that. What's even crazier now is that in that same division at 47, Lewis Crocker's a world champion. I mean, that is crazy to me. You're telling me Patty Donovan fights Lewis Crocker twice and can't win a belt? I don't care the narrative of the story. Bonehead, low IQ decision in the first fight. And in the second fight, no adjustments. Running onto big shots against a guy who his only path to victory, you're telling me Lewis Crocker makes the adjustments and Patty Donovan doesn't? Donovan's the one with 160 amateur wins. I just saw a lot of questions in Donovan's fight IQ. He fights really emotional. So my point was that adjustment that worked well with Crocker, Chukajan's good enough to do that within the fight. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be the thing to watch. Is the adjustment within the fight. Chukajan's going to initially jump out, and I think he's going to test that mid-range game against Patty. He's going to adhere to it. He's going to play that game. He's going to want to see the speed. He's going to want to see the power. But I think the adjustment mid-fight, where I think the knockout could be in play, is once Chukajan becomes successful in that opening range of the fight, and the adjustment probably third or fourth, or it could happen early, where he then catches Patty using Patty's aggression against him. because Karen's a good counterpuncher. Karen's accurate and he's tricky. He's awkward. He could use the ring if he wants to, and I think he could stop him. I think getting Patty emotional in a fight when it's not going his way. Karen's going to throw way more punches than Lewis Crocker was going to throw. I think if it's a level gap that I think it's going to be, I think that it could look like what I'm banking on if I play the knockout. We just saw it a month ago when we played the plus 650 knockout. The Sam Gilly knockout at plus 600 versus Aston Brown. How there was that level gap, there was that skill gap. And as the fight was progress, you started to see it. Gary played Aston Brown's game. And I'm not comparing the styles, I'm comparing the levels, what the skill gap sometimes proves in an outcome of a fight. You sometimes get, if the skill gap is too wide, you will see guys who aren't big punchers at the high level become knockout artists. And I just don't like the way Patty relies so much on his athleticism. Sometimes, like when you look at Patty at the low level before the Lewis Crocker fights, Patty looked like a skilled fighter. He looked like a smooth operator. He looked like a tricky guy who would use the ring, use his jab, exit out, have angles. And then you see him in the two fights against Crocker, and he looks totally different. He looks like a guy who wants to play, who has the bigger dick contest. I get the fight was in their home country with all the fans, but now you have the psychological scars from, Patty Donovan's perspective of fighting two fights, thinking that you're a world champion, not getting the belt, getting dropped twice against a guy that you thought you were going to dog walk and lose the decision in the second fight. Now you got to travel to Germany against a really tough Ukrainian fighter, Karen Chukachin. I could see I think there's a world where Patty gets stopped. Looking at Lee McGregor versus Gomez, I think Lee McGregor might take it as an underdog, knowing he had a bad performance against Collins. I think the fight against Isaac Lowe. Isaac Lowe, let me show you something about Isaac Lowe. I just watched this fight. You got King. King, you just told me looking at Lee McGregor and Gomez Jr., I think Lee McGregor might take it as an underdog. Knowing he had a bad performance against Collins, I think the fight against Lowe shows his skill set. So he fights Lowe, but he fights Lowe before Collins. He fights Lowe before Collins. If you want to see a kid's skill set, you don't revert back to fights in which he got exposed. So the knock on that would be, well, he looks good against Lowe. He looks good against Isaac Lowe at 125 pounds. And then he steps up against Nathaniel Collins and gets exposed. Once you get exposed, I thought he got exposed for being very basic. And once again, another one of these guys relying too much on his athleticism. And I don't like the way he fell apart at all. And this fight's at 135. Lee was rocked. This is what I'm talking about. Gomez said he's going through him. I believe he said it could be worse than Flynn. I like, dude, guys, I'm not trying to talk anybody out of their place. You guys stand on business anyway. Yeah, but he ended up beating Isaac Lowe by a clear decision. I think McGregor. Then King, play McGregor, brother. No one's trying to talk you out of your ticket. Play your ticket. Play your ticket. Post it. We got receipts. We're all good. We're still good. Tenio in the house. I haven't seen Tenio. Tenio's tapping in. I haven't seen the props. Let me see if I got them for you, big fella. Guys, we are 30 minutes in, 50 to 60 in here. Like the video. Best squad in the land, JSB community. We're out here learning, sharing information, researching. Let's get after it. Only one thing left to do is win. We might as well do that. There's only one thing left to do. We've done all the hard work. Play like a champion today. Boom. I didn't have Norman props. Look, guys, in terms of a value play, there's no value on the $1.34. And you got to think about, I'm a Brian Norman Jr. fan. You guys know I'm not a sellout. I'm not a guy that just because a fighter loses me money, you'll never hear me call him a scrub. You'll never hear me calling any fighters cheat. The one that kills me is when you guys call fighters cheeks. That shit is hilarious, boy. Cheeks. Kate Buns. Buns is another one. But I still roll with Brian Norman Jr. You know, the best version of him is against Jin Sasaki, and the version against Devin was a young dude who was in over his head. I believed in him. He believed in himself. You know, he gets dropped bad, but he goes the distance against a guy that Devin Haney was on his game. Devin Haney looked great. I think Devin Haney won more fans back in that fight than I'd like to say. I'd like to say Devin won more fans back with his performance than Brian lost. Okay. The one thing we do have to be weary of is, has that loss, has that knockdown domesticated Norman Jr. in a way that it's not supposed to sound negative, but at $1.34, are you banking on Brian to be the same guy against Sasaki? He is only 25 years old, still young. We have to remember, guys, I think it was before Xander won his title and before Brian fought Devin, Brian was the youngest champion in boxing. So he's still young, he's still learning. And those lessons he took from Devin, like, I guarantee they talk. Whenever this is the bond boxers have. There's definitely a part of Brian Norman Jr., and you guys probably won't want to admit to this, and Brian probably won't want to admit to this, but there's definitely a part of Brian Norman Jr. when he sits back, he thanks Devin. Definitely. Because he taught Devin taught Brian a lot in that fight. He taught him a lot about patience. He taught him a lot about timing. He taught him a lot about skill. He taught him a lot about durability. Brian learned a lot about himself in that fight. You know, he lost a lot of rounds, but he was still there mid to late rounds. Rewatch that fight. Brian never gave up on himself. He just was overmatched by one of the most skilled boxers in modern boxing, in Devin Haney. Okay? So does he take all of those lessons? Does he still keep that samurai spirit? And does he go out and stop this guy? Should he? Yeah, the odds are telling you that. But at $1.34, you got to start thinking, what's your bankroll? Are you parlaying that? Is it it's not a value play. The value would be Brian on points. So you then have to also do your numbers. You have to, pull up all your receipts historically. What sort of bettor are you? Are you a parlay guy? Or is your bankroll massive so you don't, the 34% is a good return? These are all questions you have to answer. If you were in my house and we were able to sit down, I'd be able to see your data, and then I'd be able to make a proper conclusion. But if you're trying to build a bankroll, you should be looking for value plays, and the value isn't with the knockout. The value would be on points. I definitely don't see Brian losing. So I'm probably not playing that fight. Unless I don't play non-plus value tickets. If you take Brian by knockout and then you want to parlay that, are you a parlay guy? There's a lot of questions we got to answer. Well, Keyshawn has only fought twice at 40. Brian's not a big 147. I'd love that fight, guys. Let's talk. I wasn't even thinking about that. I'd love to see a Brian Norman Jr. Keyshawn fight. I want to see Keyshawn versus Shakur. That ain't gonna happen. Guys, are we really gonna see Tank versus Loma 10 years too late? Whenever props drop for Norman, I'm taking the under. All right, Julius. Just 20 little. Ah, my God. Hold up. My second published book. Yeah, man. So appreciate you. I wrote this during a year after the pandemic. So Chris Algieri, let's see who else you guys might recognize in this book. So I interviewed a lot of people for this book. Chris Algieri's in this book. Dr. Jose Antonio. A lot of doctors, a lot of athletes. There's some boxers in here. Onglan Song, former double champ from One Championship. He's in here. It was fun writing this. I'm kind of a nerd. Algieri's chapter 6. Yeah, I like writing. I have a third book I've been working on for 2 years. It's just I've been putting so much energy into this. It takes a lot of energy to vision board the book, get the concept down, and then you got to go out and interview people. I have all the interviews for the third book. It's a book on boxing, the mindset of a champion, and it's interviews with like Larry Holmes, George. I've interviewed Larry Holmes, George Foreman, Evander Holyfield, Layla Ali's in the first book, but she would be in this one as well. Kelly Pavlik. There's 5 more, and some UFC fighters. So Stipe Miocic, Hoist Gracie. I'd have to look. I did the interviews a while ago. Appreciate you, bro. Let me know how you like it. Gomez just knocked out low-level Jordan Flynn. That win means nothing. Lee McGregor ain't shit either, but better than Gomez. There you go. Yes. See, we all got PTSD. We all got trauma. We're trauma bonding right now. All the boys got PTSD, and it's a serious question he got to ask. Is BNJ David? I don't think so. No, Brian Norman Jr. is mean, dude. Brian Norman Jr. is mean. It's why I like him. I was never like I watch Brian Norman Jr. fights because he's mean, dude. Just watch how he was trying to go out on his shield against Devin. He wasn't backing up. Norman Jr. was actually being look at the mid to late rounds from like 8 to 12. Norman Jr. was competitive in those rounds. He wasn't quitting. That kid didn't quit on himself. Calvin, Chukachin, Hergovic, let's go. A team reminds me of Ben Hussein, loudmouth. We'll see if he can back. Well, if that's the case, Ben's been backing it up. Ben a whole dog. What? Doherty will punish your team. Okay. Off topic, what webcam you use for your lives? It's super clear. So Manny, I appreciate it. So if you remember early days of I only started doing lives in I think July. And I didn't have the screen. I didn't know how to share screen. That was my old Mac. I bought a Mac in 2019, and it was just the camera quality. So I bought the new iPad, the new Apple iPad in November. So it's the new Apple iPad. Appreciate you noticing it. And I'm upgrading even more. In the next few months, I'm going to upgrade with the new Mac. What are your thoughts on Malcolm Wellmaker, Brian Norman Jr.? I like it. Wellmaker has a lot to prove, man. Wellmaker was all of the buzz until he got buzzed. So he has a lot to prove. He's young, a lot to learn. The fight game's a tough game, boys. You know that. I like it, though. Barry Unboxing says the team has a 5-inch height advantage and a win over Liam Dillon. Dude, people are hating on a Liam Dillon win. The Liam Dillon win is a better win than Doherty has. Liam previously went the distance with Ryan Gardner, Bellotti, and O'Leary. So on paper, it does. It does. Fresh BX in the house. All it does is show you how about one. He's talking about Crocker and Foley. Karen, I think Karen is world class. I've always said that too. I like Karen Chukachan, man. His game, his craftiness. It's tough to be a crafty boxer at the world level. You know what I mean? It's real tough to. What does that really mean? What does being a crafty boxer at the world level means? That means that being able to go from plan A to plan B to plan C. That means being able to show your opponent a different look round to round. Not many guys could do that. Not many. Karen's a crafty boxer. And it's that craftiness that I see in that Patty doesn't have. Patty relies on his athleticism, his power, and his speed. But this is boxing, baby. You can trick people in boxing. Boxing is a thinking man sport. You could trick somebody into thinking something that's not really there. You could create illusions. Crafty boxers create illusions in there, thinking that a guy's safe when they're not, thinking a guy has a punch open when it's not. This is countered by catch and shoot. You ready to see one of the my favorite catch and shoot? Watch Keyshawn versus Wu. As you're watching Keyshawn evolve in his career. Oh, this is my only hesitation. I do have Keyshawn on points. But Keyshawn stopped, I think, 4 of the last 5 guys he's faced. The only guy he hasn't stopped he just got stopped too. His name will come to me. Madueño. The only guy he hasn't stopped was Madueno. But Keyshawn doesn't even have 15 pro fights. He's still learning. Watch Keyshawn pool counter, boy. Keyshawn pool counters, catch and shoot, dude. Beautiful. It's an illusion. If you get master the pool counter, dude, that's an illusion. Not many people could do that. I'm not saying Karen could do that, but Karen's crafty in there. We're nerds out here, dude. There's all these little nuances of the game that each fight presents. I don't care, even at the low level. Like anybody, if you're fighting, like Queensberry, Frank Warren has been serving. Queensberry and Frank Warren have kind of tapped into this sort. I said this yesterday on my live. I told Tommy about this. They kind of tapped into this weird sort of niche of giving us the fan, these C-level 50-50 fights that are kind of interesting. They're kind of intriguing to watch. These 50-50 C-level fights. We got to bet on. You got to find. I'll find some gold in a fucking shit stack. I could find a silver lining. It's that goes back to me being an optimist. So the Chukachan craftiness, I said all that to prove the point. I think it's his craftiness that I like. That is, for me, always jumped off the paper. Like, why does he get the rematch after he got dog walked? Why? There was nobody at 47, and something in Bozy, I don't know if they went on record to say this, something in Bozy wanted to see if Boots could stop him. They're like, all right, Boots, in your maturation, in your elevation, and they were working towards Bud, they were working towards Virgil, and in something happened. They had to put their hand. Yes, I'll do it again. He said he didn't want to do it again, but you dog walked him the first time. This time, kid, let's go out and stop him. And he couldn't. He couldn't stop him. That's craftiness. That shows craftiness. The only guy to not get stopped is Karen Chukachin against Boots, and it happened twice. Did he get wins? No, he didn't get wins. But there's crap. You take something with you. 24 rounds with Jaron Ennis, you take something with you. Nobody else will ever say that they win 24. Did he win? No. Does he have to win? He doesn't have to win. I feel that he doesn't have to win. The only guy to beat you. I think he lost maybe an early fight early on. But there's craftiness to that, to be able to handle and deal with that guy. Jaron's a lot to deal with, man. Jaron's a nightmare to train for. You do 2 fight camps to train for Jaron? Like, Jesus. I don't see that element in Patty. Do I? Yeah, I see him struggling with Dobson. What's up, brother? I got Keyshawn by knockout. Boots is in it. Is not showing enough confidence yet. I told you LeBron is going to New York. You did. Did LeBron go to New York, man? Look, even though I'm a diehard Cavs fan, it would be cool to see LeBron in that blue jersey, the blue New York jersey, the throwback. I want to see LeBron retire in Cleveland. No, not audio. They didn't. My publisher didn't do audio, man. My first book, there's an audio book for Ungoogleable. Damn, it seems like a different lifetime ago writing this. Huh. Crazy. You can read it yourself on YouTube, if anything. What's up, rest in peace, haters? We still good. Grizzy in the house. He's trauma. Yeah. We out here trauma bonding, dude, right? Karen is slick, underrated. I think he is too, John. Great question by Jay. Look, Giasov has won us money in the past. I'm a Catterall fan. This is going to be... I don't know. Give me time. I think it's a close fight. I don't know if Giasov is as good as he was sold to us. We've watched Giasov in his last few fights. I think Jack is trending. I think Jack is in his prime right now. I think Giasov is kind of like an awkward guy. He has a lot of hype behind him. He's ranked high at 47. Oh, completely off topic, definitely a dumb bet, but Nate Diaz plus when he doesn't sound. I'm going to obviously give out a DJ Netflix parlay. How can I not? I've been watching Nate Diaz since he was fucking Nick's little brother. I've been watching Mike Perry since he came from Detroit. Detroit in the house, baby. I know I was bagging on the D. It's so cold in the D. Fuck is we supposed to keep peace? What do you think about the Chris Billum Smith fight? Ask me next week, big dog. Norman Gomez, Karen, all by knockout. Ooh, bro. What's that pay? Let's go. If y'all taking a prop bet on Keyshawn versus Albright live bet, odds suck. If your book allows you to live bet, do it. Let's talk. Not all books let us live bet. You know what I'm saying? And this is a valid point, but the other side of that coin is I've seen this happen in the past. Guys wait to live bet and then their books close all bets, and now you get locked out of a fight. So it just depends. And if you're live betting, you have experience. You obviously have had experience live betting on your app, so you know what you're doing. But some guys, like in the Discord the last few weeks, the boys were live betting and they're like, damn, I didn't get action on this because my book locked me out. So it just depends. Frank Warren is one of the best matchmakers in boxing. Whenever that British belt, Kamala, yeah, good. Is this a pattern? We're seeing patterns emerge. GK, we're seeing patterns emerge. It is a full unit. I went full unit on Coos. That's my dog of the week. You guys know that now. Yeah, people think that Kelvin's on upset alert, but high interest. We've been talking about this a lot, right? Pete Dobson is a worker. Johnny, pick one word to describe Dobson's style. Workmanlike, okay? Kelvin Davis, pick one word to describe his style. Mid, which is fine. It's still in Norfolk. It's still a top-ranked card. Pete Dobson's not a puncher. I don't think Calvin gets stopped. I think the only way Calvin loses here is getting stopped. I think the place Calvin on points at plus 112. That's a crazy, like this right here. I think that's the play. Kelvin got a little pop to him, though. Kelvin got a little snap in there. And hopefully he's leveled up. Pete Dobson's not winning a decision in Norfolk. So, upset alert. I'm not going to. I think so. Upset alert, yeah. Or maybe we'll say Pete's live. Pete's live here. Pete's live. I think Karen money line. I think too. I got action on Karen on the money line. Is live betting going to be worth it? Keyshawn's going to dominate off rip. User in the house. Cleveland gets it on that, John. I got action on him, King. I took Cleveland. I shared my prop bet in the Discord. And then I took Cleveland on the money line at plus 143. They're at plus 185 now. Game just started 9-4. Ooh, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Unless we transition this into an NBA live stream like we did last week. I'm gonna put the game on. Guys, I'm gonna just stay on. So if you want to, I'm gonna answer the rest of the boxing. Yep, Santana by knockout. I like it. The only GK Frank doesn't handle matchmaking. Matchmaking is done by Lee Eden. I think he was talking about the figurehead, right? I took Harden 15. I'm putting the game on, boys. We're putting the game on. So let's talk. I got Cleveland on one bet on the money line, and then I got Donnie D. Mitch to score 20, Cade to score 20, Harden to score 15, Mobley to score 10, Allen to score 10, Schroeder to score 5, and Big Dick Merrill to score 10. Let's see. Let's put this on. And my book, what's crazy is my sports betting app. We could watch the game live, but I guarantee YouTube. Watch this. I guarantee YouTube will probably, or the NBA will trigger me for it. I'll get a copyright strike. I'll put it on for a second. I gotta log in. I'm not gonna log in. But like, here's my betting app on the phone. So on our betting app, they play the games. 9-6. I know. We're playing with fire, aren't we? All right, I'm going to leave this up, and I'm just gonna watch some. I'm gonna watch some basketball. Let me put the game on in the background. You guys got action, bro? Why you dancing? We out here playing with fire. I was gonna use a brothel analogy, but I'll be a good boy. You don't want to be playing with fire out there, boys. These hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. It might be too early to be live streaming the NBA, man. I'll get exhausted. I got a box at 3 p.m. I got sparring in about 4.5 hours. Dude, live streaming during a game is exhausting. I did it. We live streamed the fights during the weekend, which is fun. I did play-by-play on the Zuffa card. Dude, I was in bed at like 8 p.m. after. I'm like exhausted. I think the gamers, the guys who live stream, they have to be on some sort of amphetamines to be able to live stream like 10 hours. You have to be taking like Adderall or what's another one of those ones that modafinil. Maybe I'm just old. All right, so commercial break. We got fights, guys. Let's see when the fights are starting, boys. Bro, why you testing it? Cavs versus Pistons. Game 5. Detroit basketball. And then I'll put this on. You know what we'll do? We'll go here. We'll see if we got a delay. Gustavo Lamas posted injuries to both fighters. Detroit basketball. All right, so it's 6-9. Commercial. I need Big Dick Dean Wade to start hitting some threes. If you guys didn't know, I grew up in Northeast Ohio. I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan. I'll still take all the boxing questions. I'm going to probably leave this on for a while if anybody taps in. I'll still take your boxing questions. Floyd says, who do you want to see Loma fight? Tank, right? It's Tank. That's the move, right? Tank versus Loma. If not Loma, why'd you come out of retirement? People misunderstood my rant yesterday about I didn't care that Loma came out of retirement. It's because, like, once you retire, don't call it a retirement. Just say I'm taking some years off to heal up. All right, so did one of the boys play Mitchell to score 25? Did you play that? I want to see Loma Tank. I think that's the fight, right? Is there any other fight? Knicks going all the way. They look great. New York looks great. 9-8, 6.5 left. All right, so we're synced up. My live stream is on a 20-second delay. So wherever you're tapping in, this is the way to do it, dude. I wish boxing had something like this that I could live stream during the boxing fights and they have a screen of like the rounds. Does anybody know how I could do that? If there was a way that I could share a screen during the live fights that you could see what round it was in and a clock, I would do that. I love live streaming during the fights. British title fight 65%. That's a great stat, GK. All right, 6 minutes left in the first. Are we live betting here, boys? Are we getting live action out here? Pistons missed their last 5 field goals. Oh, please don't put Merrill's on the bench. Donnie, Cade hasn't scored. Schroeder hasn't scored. The parlay's looking all right. 9-8, halfway through the first. Low scoring, defensive. Dude, he has been torching Cleveland. The big fella for Detroit, the 58 years old. Oh, my boy. Harden shaved his head. Oh, no, he got the clean break. I thought he shaved it. Harden got them clean break. The step back three. Misses. 9. The boys aren't hitting anything. Harden played good in game 4, though. It's just Cleveland needs to get a game away. They're undefeated at home in the playoffs. They haven't gotten any wins away. Travel? Ugh. That's how are they, dude? That whole hesitation step, give me you get to carry and then take 2 more steps is outrageous. And Karis LeVert torched us last game. Karis LeVert scored 24. He was a Cav. We drafted him. Karis LeVert was supposed to be the missing piece in the post-Kyrie years. He scored 24, 10 for 16 from the field. Next corner. Next corner stoppage. That's hilarious. Sam Merrill back in for punk-ass Dean Wade. We need Big Dick Sam to start hitting some threes. Hold up. You're betting on the WNBA. Y'all boys is wild. King is my guy for that, boy. Betting on the W. Schroeder with the hezzy. Gives it to Big Dick Max Strus for 3. Ties it up at 11. I didn't put Strus on my parlay. Strus is always good for at least 3 threes. So if you guys are parlay prop guys in the NBA, that's sort of what I do. Dude, Tobias Harris has just been shitting on us all series. They have no answer for Tobias Harris. It's because Harden plays 0 defense. He actually played pretty good D. Jared Allen with the and 1. Oh, that was beautiful. The up and under and 1. Jared Allen going to the line. Allen, man, if he was a little bit meaner, if Allen had a little bit more of like a Draymond Green to his game. One money on the Seattle. You got to put me on the game then. You got to share your tickets in the Discord and put me on the game. I'm thinking Seattle Aces Sunday. I'm thinking about the Toronto Tempo. I've never watched 1 second of the WNBA, so I didn't even know those were teams. The Toronto Tempo. The W. The only thing I know about the WNBA is this past All-Star weekend in Las Vegas, a clip went viral because the WNBA girls thought they were going to get into the club for free, and they didn't let them in. And this one little girl was like, "What? We play in the W." And they're like, "We don't give a shit. You ain't getting in here. Shut up. Get your ass out of line. You ain't getting in here. Shut up." That's the only thing I knew about it. Up turnover again, Jared Allen. Cleveland loves turning the ball over. They only had 12 turnovers last game. It's why they won. And Cade for 3. Cade hits a 3. Cade has the laziest game, dude. I hate Cade's game. I'm sorry. I said it last time. Cade is just lethargic and lazy. I'm gonna be super salty if we lose to Detroit. This Cleveland team definitely should beat Detroit. The worst 60-team win in NBA history is Detroit. Dude, Detroit keeps hitting threes, though. Cade with back-to-back trays. I need him to score 20. He only scored, is this an and 1? No, he hits another triple here. Yep. I needed him to score 20 last game. He scores 19. He already has 6 today. 6 out of 20, looking good. I need Schroeder to hit something. Cleveland turning the ball over. 19-16. Merrill for Trey. Nice. Attaboy. Merrill on the board. 21-19. All right, guys. We're an hour in. I'm going to stop it here. You guys enjoy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's get this money.